What was the most not safe for work thing your teacher did? Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the video. My gym teacher in elementary school had sexual relations with one of our classmates' moms, whilst in his office, attached to the gym, where he had a class of second graders running laps. At least it wasn't a teacher-student affair. I read gym teacher and elementary school and immediately thought, oh no. Very thankful it went that way, because YIK, yes. The band director had sexual relationships with 3 different girls at the same time. One was a teen, the other 2 were minors, and the chorus teacher embezzled $40K over 5 years. When you say at the same time, do you mean like concurrently, or simultaneously? He started his first relationship with the adult and a few months later started seeing the other 2. So yes, at one point simultaneously. I probably worded that too delicately. I meant to ask if it was group sex. He wouldn't be the first teacher to do that. The teachers got suspended and fired for having sex in our school theater. Side note, one of them was married to another teacher at the school. They all worked in the English department, more like the drama department. I really appreciate this comment. If you spelled theater in the American way, I would have thought you went to my school. That's exactly what happened, except it was the art and band teachers. Told the class at an all-boys Catholic school that she gave up giving blowjobs for Lent and that she misses giving it. I'm guessing all those boys who had given up fapping for Lent gave up that same day. The boys' bathroom probably looked like that scene from South Park, It was a spooky ghost. Yeah, no kidding. All of the boys must have ended up collapsing in exhaustion later that day. One of my teachers was fricking a student. They're now married with kids and she still has the job. One of my teachers was having sex with a senior football player. I was in 8th grade, but we were combined middle high school. We always just thought it was a rumor, until one day her husband came home from work early and caught them. He was friends with my dad and came over to our house and was telling him about it. I think they were outside, and I happened to walk outside and hear enough to know it was true. She just retired like 2 years ago and I graduated in '96. How? She still has the job. There you go. Had a youngish female sex ed teacher in grade 8, who stated that girls can ejaculate while orgasming. When questioned about it, she described her own experience with the phenomenon of squirting. The boys in the class kept asking for more and more detail. She didn't last long, and neither did the boys. She didn't last long, seemingly. Talked about how she gave her excited puppy handjobs to calm it down. Didn't see much of her after that. What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? I was taking a bio test in college and a girl had a pretty interesting tattoo on her shoulder, half covered by her top. The professor walking around saw the half tattoo and pulled down her top slightly to see the rest of it without asking. She was shocked and half the class saw and he snapped out of it and knew he fricked up and just said nice, then walked to his desk. I'm pretty sure she just wrote it off as him being quirky and decided not to tell the board cause he wasn't suspended or anything. Was he a creep or a genuine no frick? I didn't mean it like that. I honestly don't think it was anything sexual and he was interested in the tattoo cause he never did anything like it in the years I knew him. I think he's generally a goofy guy, but that day he realized he fricked up. I don't remember her name at the moment, but my 8th grade science teacher wore a black leather bodysuit and the whole cat get-up, ears and a tail, and simple face paint, for Halloween. I think we dissected something, boners, as far as the eye could see. He was 74, boners intensify. Had a French teacher that brought in a French woman, prostitute, to speak to the class in French. Sat at the front of the class, on top of a desk, short skirt. We learned a lot that day, but none of it related to the language. Did you learn how to read lips? Actually learned how to play the trombone, the rusty trombone. Catholic high school. He was our morality teacher, and the lead singer of a band with a sexual innuendo, so he's a real dual threat. He ended up being an assistant coach for our track team and went to one of my friend's graduation parties and they had sex. She was a teen. Same guy also took me and 3 others to Hooters on a trip to a track meet out of state. Got too drunk, got the waitress's number and we had to drive the short bus back to the hotel for him. A teacher at my high school sold weed to a student and also had sex with him. Plot twist. You were homeschooled. Frig. Yes. Frig. This was way back in the 70s when overhead projectors were commonly used. One teacher, charmingly referred to as sandbags, frequently did not wear a bra on warm autumn and spring days, but it was always cool in the classroom. She would lean over that bright surface and light up the pointy works. It was absolutely glorious. Swing low, sweet chariots. This was way back in the 70s when overhead projectors were commonly used. As late as 2010 they were still in common use. Probably still are. I just went to my 3rd year of trade school and can confirm the projector was used a ton. Sorry for the formatting. I'm on mobile. But this story is freaking crazy. I had this English teacher during my sophomore year who I actually looked up to before the incident. He was funny, a good teacher, had a pretty cool beard, and was pretty cool. There was also this girl in my class who I thought was really pretty and I had a bit of a crush on. My teacher and the girl got along really well, and honestly it made English class really fun. Fast forward a year, and that same teacher was arrested for having sexual relations with a student. No name was stated, but everyone knew that it was the pretty girl in my class, especially since she moved out of the state that year. It turns out that the teacher wrote a freaking contract to give the girl a B in the class in exchange for sexual favors. He even left a note on her desk with candy that said, and I quote, "I would smash you into thin powder, mix you with water and drink it." The teacher's wife, who also taught at the school, was pregnant at this time and prematurely went into labor when the news broke. I don't think they're married anymore. Since this was about 5 years ago, I stopped looking up to him after that. I know exactly who you are talking about and what school. He was my English teacher and all the girls in my class hated him. He always had something gross to say. His poor wife was pregnant with their 3rd kid. She ended up staying at that school for a couple more years and a social outcast. So that's what happened to her. Anyway, I need to DM you about some things to verify. That's really sad, oh my god. I hope the ex-wife is okay. Nobody deserves news like that, especially when pregnant. Put too much sodium in a 4L beaker of H2O. It exploded in spectacular fashion, emptying the water onto the ceiling, where it fell all over her and soaked her blouse. She had nice nipples. That's pretty freaking funny, to be honest. That's not safe for work in both senses of the term. Excellent. I do hope her nipples didn't sustain caustic burns though. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more r/AskReddit content. Be sure to check out our playlist, link in the description below.